Gold and silver are truly safe investments. They have held their value for thousands of years. People have always trusted them, especially in uncertain times. These are real physical assets you can touch. You can actually hold gold and silver coins. This makes them very different from paper money. They offer you a solid sense of security. Think of them as true, historical money. Paper money, the kind in your wallet, is different. Governments can print it whenever they want more. When they print too much, its value drops. This is called inflation, and it silently steals your savings. Gold and silver, however, tend to hold their value. They act as a strong shield against this big risk. Their supply is naturally limited, unlike endless paper. This inherent scarcity is a source of their strength. I often call gold and silver God's money. You can also simply call them real money. What about fiat currency, like the US dollar? I frequently refer to that as fake money. It is not backed by any tangible asset anymore. In today's world, real assets are what truly count. Gold and silver are prime examples of real assets. They are not just pieces of paper with promises. You should pay close attention to what smart people do. Central banks all over the world are buying gold. Nations like China, Russia, and even India are stocking up. They are consistently increasing their gold reserves right now. In fact, 2024 saw them buy record amounts of gold. This clearly demonstrates their deep trust in its value. They understand its enduring, fundamental worth for the future. They are preparing for a very uncertain financial world. For many years I have been sounding the alarm. Our current global financial system is incredibly fragile. Too many people are living in a financial fantasy. They place far too much trust in this broken system. But you must understand, the system is not your friend. It is often structured to benefit the wealthy and connected. It is absolutely critical that you wake up now. Massive, life-altering changes are rapidly approaching us. I am on record predicting that hyperinflation is coming. What exactly is hyperinflation? It is an economic disaster. The prices for everyday items will skyrocket uncontrollably. Your hard-earned money will buy less and less each day. Your precious savings could become virtually worthless very quickly. Imagine needing a wheelbarrow of cash for a loaf of bread. This isn't a scare tactic, it has happened in other countries, and yes, it can certainly happen in the US too. The roots of this massive problem go back decades. A pivotal year was 1971, when the US dollar fundamentally changed. It was officially disconnected from its gold backing. This decision, in my view, was a monumental mistake. It gave the government the power to print money endlessly, and not surprisingly, they printed far too much of it. This has slowly created a financial house of cards. Now we are seeing that fragile house begin to crumble. Just recently, on May 21, 2025, I issued a stark warning. I stated very clearly, the end is here. Why would I make such a dramatic statement now? It is because I see undeniable signs of deep trouble. The United States government is drowning in massive debt. The Federal Reserve is resorting to printing even more money. This dangerous combination is a perfect recipe for disaster. Hyperinflation is no longer just a possibility, it's becoming a probability. Let us examine some very recent and telling events. On May 20, 2025, something significant and worrying occurred. The US government attempted to sell its treasury bonds. Essentially, these bonds are IOUs, representing government debt. However, there was a distinct lack of eager buyers. The demand for these bonds was alarmingly weak. This is bad. It signals that people are rapidly losing their faith. They no longer trust the stability of US debt. So faced with this problem, what did the Federal Reserve do? The Fed, as you know, is America's central bank. It quickly intervened and bought up the unsold bonds. They purchased a staggering $50 billion worth of US debt. Now, where did the Federal Reserve get all this money? They effectively created it digitally, out of thin air. This process is known as monetizing the debt. It is akin to printing money to pay your bills. This specific action by the Federal Reserve is extremely serious. It signals pure desperation, as one financial expert correctly noted. It strongly suggests that the era of free money is ending. Global confidence in the US dollar is visibly falling. The government is desperately trying to conceal growing problems, but these short-term fixes only make the situation far worse. They are effectively pouring gasoline onto an already raging fire. This is precisely why I continue to warn about hyperinflation. Even before this latest crisis, clear warnings were present. Moody's, a major credit rating agency, downgraded US credit. This downgrade means they assess US debt as being riskier. At that time, I warned this could trigger a major crash. A crash potentially similar to the Great Depression of 1929. The United States has accumulated far too much national debt. It is behaving like what I call a deadbeat dad. Continuously living on borrowed money is simply unsustainable. Remember the year 1971. That year was truly a turning point. President Nixon made the decision to take the US dollar off gold. Before this, your US dollars were convertible into gold. After 1971, however, dollars became mere paper currency. Paper-backed only by the government's promise to pay. This critical change allowed for almost endless money printing. It directly created the deep financial instability we face today. The very foundation of our monetary system became weak. This historical context is why gold and silver are so vital. They represent your financial protection in these very uncertain times. I predict that gold could eventually reach $25,000 per ounce, and I believe silver could climb to $70 per ounce. Some other financial experts calculate that if the US dollar were still backed by gold reserves, gold would exceed $15,000. These are not just arbitrary, sensational numbers to scare you. They illustrate how much value paper money is truly losing. So, what practical steps should you be taking right now? The most important first step is to educate yourself about money. Urgently. You need to start buying real tangible assets, not paper promises. Gold and silver are, without a doubt, excellent starting choices. I also personally recommend that you consider Bitcoin. Many people view Bitcoin as a form of digital gold. Income-producing real estate can also be a very good investment. These are all assets that you can physically own and control. Finally, do not rely solely on a traditional job for security. Jobs can, and often do, disappear quickly in an economic crisis. You need to start thinking like an entrepreneur today. Find innovative ways to create your own streams of income. Believe it or not, economic crises can present huge opportunities. The rich often get even richer during these difficult times. This is because they understand how money really works. Take decisive control of your own financial future, starting now. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel.